Hi, my name is Faik. This is my corporate accounting presentation. My topic is issues in cash flows, starting with my introduction. Financial instruments help user and investor to determine the progress of the company in the entire financial year. It helps to show how much expenses and the revenue have been earned by the company, as well as the other matters like investing and financing activities done by the company are shown in the financial statement. Revenue and expense. Revenue includes enhancement of asset and cash flow of the company, while expense consists of cash outflow, depreciation, liabilities during the period. Importance of income statement from investor perspective. While using the income statement, the investor have a wide range of tools at the disposal of the evaluate their equity statement. The income statement helps them by giving them relevant information to calculate different ratios that helps them clear their queries and make appropriate investment decision. Information content of cash flow. Most companies use accrual based accounting system rather than cash based, which means that the income statement and the cash available in the company are not the same. Cash flow is used to focus on the cash activities of the company during the importance of cash flow from investors perspective. Investment cash flow. Investor understands how much revenue is generated by the company's investment, usually long-term financial cash flow. This shows investors to flow the cash between the business, creditors, and the owners, including borrowed funds, repayments, and the debt and dividends. Major sources and use of cash. BHP receives cash from the net finance cost of $1,017 million in 2017, $1,245 million in 2018, and $1,046 million in 2019, which is the biggest source of cash flow for the operating activities. Santos Limited. The main source of cash for Santos Limited is the receipt from the customer, accounting $3,217 million in 2017, $3,740 million in 2018, and $4,266 million in 2019. Use of cash. The main use of cash for Santos Limited was the payment of suppliers and employees that amounted $1,611 million in 2017, $1,816 million in 2018, and $1,892 million in 2019. The main source and use of cash for Fantastic Limited. The main source of cash for Fantastic Limited is the receipt from the customer, amounting $61.731 million in 2017 and $46.46 million in 2018 and $31.119 million in 2019. The use of cash. The main use of cash for Fantastic Limited was the payment of suppliers and the employees that amounted to $60.89 million in 2017, $54.7 million in 2018, and $38.61 million in 2019. Trends in cash flow from operations. BHP Limited, there was a positive trend in cash inflow from continuing operation between 2017 and 2018 with $15,876 million and $17,561 million respectively. However, in 2019 the cash flow decreases to $17,397 million, whereas Santos Limited, there was a positive trend in cash inflow from continuing operation in 2017, 2018, and 2019 with $1,248 million in 2017, $1,578 million in 2018, and $2,046 million respectively in 2019. Fantastic Limited, there is a cash outflow from continuing operation which was $2.75 million in 2017, which increased to $10.18 million in 2018. However, in 2019, the outflow decreases to $8.03 million. The major reasons for the difference in the cash from operating and the net profit after the tax in BHP Limited. The major difference between the net profit and after tax and cash flow from the operating is depreciation and amortization expense, which is non-cash item reduced from the cash profit, while the cash available to the company is more, since depreciation does not cause any outflow of the cash. Yes, BHP during 2017, 2018 and 2019 generated enough cash flow from operations to pay all of their capital expenditure in respective years. In 2017 and 2019, Santos Limited has had enough cash to pay for its capital expenditure. However, in 2018, it did not have enough cash for the operational cash flow. The excess cash was borne up by the company using the drawdown on borrowing cash flow received in financial activities. No, the company did not have enough cash flow to pay for all of its expenditure. Trends in dividends. BHP Limited, there is an increased trend in the dividend paid by the company, with $2,921 million in 2017, $5,220 million in 2018, and $11,395 million in 2019. Whereas Santos Limited, no dividend paid in 2017, but there is an increased trend in the dividend paid by the company, with $73 million in 2018 and $251 million in 2019. If you see the Fantastic Limited, the company did not pay any dividend. The trend in the net borrowing. BHP Limited processed from interest-bearing liabilities $250 million in 2019, $528 million in 2018, and $1,577 million in 2019. This shows an increasing trend in the last 3 years. Whereas Santos Limited draw down the borrowing of 2019 to $592 million and $1,193 million in 2018 and $783 million in 2017, showing an increase in 2018 but a decrease in 2019. If you see the Fantastic Limited, processed from borrowing $566 million in 2019, $263 million in 2018, and $3,647 million in 2017, showing an increasing trend from 2017 to 2018, but an increasing trend